Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a get it done with me video. I have a ton of stuff to get done over the course of a few days, and it involves cleaning, cooking, organizing, and decorating for Christmas. So one thing that I struggle with sometimes when I have so many things to do is not knowing where to start. So I can kind of be all over the place and things like that. And so sometimes I'll make a list and sometimes I know I just need to jump in. And today is one of those days that I know I just need to jump in. I started decorating a little bit 2 days ago. My front porch, that's where I started because the snow was falling and it was beautiful. And I still have a couple things that need to go out there, and then I'm gonna decorate inside. So one thing that I wanna show you that I'm gonna get ready to put outside is this sign that I got from Target. It's a nice tall sign. One side says Hello Winter and the other side says Merry Christmas. So the mat that I have out there right now, I'm actually going to swap out as it gets closer to Christmas. So this is absolutely perfect because I'll put up this side right now and then this side when I swap out my mat as it gets closer to Christmas. So this is where I'm gonna start, and then you can just come along with me as I get things done today. Okay, so let's rewind to where this started 2 days ago. I'm gonna be changing my front porch from fall to winter. It's actually the day after Thanksgiving, and this is when I would usually start decorating, and it actually is snowing for the first time here in upstate New York. So it seemed like the perfect day to take the opportunity to start to decorate. So I'll show you guys kind of where things were for fall. If you missed my fall porch makeover, this might be new to you, but if you saw it, I'll just give you a quick refresh so you can get the before. Okay, so of course I had my fall wreath there. I have this little white and black buffalo plaid doormat with just a little hello one. You can see it got a little wet. I still have my pumpkins and my mums and just some fall decor here along the way. Turning around, I just have my rocking chairs, which were new to my porch as of my last video. I have a little buffalo plaid blanket and a couple of fall pillows here. So I'm gonna be keeping the rug, rocking chairs, and my little table, and I'll just be removing anything fall related and replacing it with some more wintry decor. So let's get to it. Instead of taking everything off and then putting things back up, I'm kind of just swapping things out as I go. So I've been dying to get my winter wreath up. The one I had, I loved. It was from Target. This new one is also from Target. And now I just need to get all of these pumpkins and things off of the porch. The old mat I'm putting by the back door because it's not too bad to still be used. I'm actually surprised that none of these pumpkins started to rot because I have had them for a while, and I'm actually going to throw them behind the tree in the back corner of my backyard just to see, out of curiosity, if any of them end up sprouting and growing, because that would be super cool if we could grow some pumpkins back there. I am using an old mop that I need to throw out to sweep because I can't find my outdoor broom, and once I get in the flow, I don't like to spend a ton of time looking for things. So I did keep the black and white buffalo plaid base mat, and then I just added this little mat to the top from Target, this little lantern from Aldi that I actually grabbed a couple of weeks ago, and just that little flocked tree from Target as well. And again, this wreath is from Target. So it's still snowing, but it's also getting dark, so everything else I am going to finish up like you see here on the following day. So I just added in some fresh pine that I got in a little bundle from Trader Joe's. Those little birch logs were from Target as well, and I'm just kind of taking out this little 3-pack of flocked trees that I'm going to sort of plant in my big cement planter here where the mums were. Not really the smartest to be doing this in a white sweater, but here we are. So I'm going to try to keep most of the soil so that there's enough to just kind of put these little trees in there. It gets so cold here that nothing that I plant here is going to stay alive. So that's why I'm going with these little artificial trees from Target. And then I'm just gonna add in some pine cones, which I just grabbed a bag of pine cones from the dollar spot on that same day at Target. Okay, the front is done for now, and I'll show you the end result a little bit later, but for now I'm going to start tackling this playroom. Sometimes I just do a quick refresh where I move things around and swap out books and maybe a few toys, but then other times it needs a deep clean, and today is one of those days. So I'm taking everything out of the room so that I can rearrange everything, so that I can sweep and steam mop, and I'm reorganizing a little bit in this art station corner. And I'll be swapping out all of our fall books on the bookshelves with winter books, so I'm pretty excited to do that as well. So I'm using a spray of my thieves cleaner in some warm water to clean off our chalk wall. I didn't used to use any cleaner because I didn't want to ruin the paint, but just a spritz of the thieves actually does a really nice job, and of course it smells really good. So if you want to try out thieves cleaner for yourself, I'll leave my link down below. I love that I've switched over to these products. They're non-toxic, they smell delicious, and I don't have to worry about my kids getting into them. So I'm rotating out my books from fall to winter books. Like I mentioned, on the top I typically put the books that are more geared towards my older kids, as well as books that I don't want the younger ones to be able to grab on their own. And then in the middle, more books for like my 6 to 10, maybe 3-year-old. And then on the very bottom, I do board books so that my 1 and 3-year-old can just grab them and not have to worry about it. Then I'm setting up the little learning shelf where I just set up a few toys, nothing crazy. So I try to do somewhat wintry theme here with the cardinals and the eggs, and then a little town with some people in there. And now I'm moving on to this living room. I was gonna clean it first, but I just really wanted to get the tree up because my kids have been begging me to be able to decorate. So I figured I will clean the other stuff when I get to it. I did already put out my Christmas pillows and blankets. I swapped out my fall ones for these. I did put a reel up over on Instagram of the before and after of the fall living room versus the winter one. So if you really want to see that contrast, you can head over there to @rooted_homelife on Instagram and check that out. I'm swapping out the batteries for these little flameless candles in the lanterns that were actually from my wedding. I have 2 of them in the living room, and now I'm just clearing off the fireplace. Again, a couple sprays of thieves cleaner, and I have my diffuser diffusing some Christmas spirit, which smells so good. And I'm cleaning out behind this fireplace now because it gets pretty gross back there. And so I'm going to set this mantle up for Christmas. I'm keeping it very simple. The number one piece that's going to go here is actually an heirloom manger that was my great-grandmother's, and I try to be very careful with it because they are ceramic figures. And then these lights, I feel like it's a miracle that they still work. I don't even know how that's possible, but it's very special to me. And then I'm just putting out a few little simple candles and details and a little bit of garland here, and that is going to be it for our mantle. as I possibly can without the kids feeling like I completely decorated without them till the kids get home and we can decorate the tree together. I need to get started on some dinner, which is going to be a soup that I'm sort of making for the first time, combining different kinds of soups that we eat regularly in sort of like a clean out the fridge, eat what we have sort of thing. So I'm gonna get that started. Before I can really do that though, I need to start cleaning up this kitchen. So this is not a deep kitchen clean that I'm doing. It's really just a quick sweep and clean off the counters, get rid of the garbage. I'm using my thieves cleaner again to clean my counters and the high chair. And I just love that I can use that same cleaner on everything, not worry about my daughter touching it and getting it in her mouth or her eyes or anything like that because it's completely safe and non-toxic. So I am doing like a clean out the fridge sort of soup, like I said. So I had this butternut squash left over from Thanksgiving a few days ago that I didn't end up using, so I'm going to roast that. Typically I would get a full squash and do that all myself, but I saw that at Trader Joe's and got so excited. And so I'm going to roast that, and that's going to be the base of my soup. And then I'm just cutting up some onion and garlic. And typically I would use celery as a base, but we didn't have any celery, so I used a little bit of carrot. And I'm going to be putting some lemon while those saute with the olive oil, and adding in some veggie stock and cutting up all of our potatoes and letting those boil into the veggie stock and the seasonings. And the butternut squash will go right into the blender with a can of white northern beans for some protein in the soup. And then I'll also mix in and blend some of the potatoes. So the base will be really a mix between butternut squash, potatoes, and white beans. And then for some green, I'm adding in the little bit of broccoli I had left over, and then the kale that I had left over as well. My husband actually ended up saying that this was one of his favorite soups that he's ever had. So this thrown together soup actually ended up being really good.
You want to pray before we take it out? Yeah. Okay. Say, Jesus God. Jesus God. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. And that this day would be awesome. This day will be awesome. And nothing would happen that is bad. Happy. Oh. Amen. Amen.
One reason I really love to rotate toys and keep minimal things out is because it always makes them excited to have something new to play with. So to end off our night, we are going to finish up making our last few cookies from the batch of cookie dough that Gia and I made for Thanksgiving. And that's one trick that I really like to do to not have too many sweets in the house at a time, is to make the dough once, keep it in the fridge, and then for a few days you can have a nice dessert or treat without it being like a whole bunch of stuff that they want to just eat up all at once. So it makes it easy to pull out the dough from the refrigerator. This only ended up being like 4 cookies, but everyone split them up, and it was a perfect little treat for the night. And it was a perfect end to the night to read our first Christmas book of the season. One afternoon, Daddy pulls me on a sled to Grandma and Grandpa's house next door. Grandma takes out a basket of fabric scraps, buttons, and yarn and shows me how to make star ornaments. Grandma is knitting something but won't let me see. A surprise, she said, for Christmas on the farm. What do you think it is? promised, here is the end result of our winter porch makeover. Just simple, nothing super elaborate, just festive and wintry. And I'll be swapping out the mat and the big winter sign for Christmas in a couple weeks. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, I would love if you'd click that red subscribe button, hit the notifications bell so that you know when I have a new video coming out. If you are not already following me over on Instagram, you can follow me there at rooted_homelife. I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos, and until next time, stay rooted.